Hi, thank you so much for stopping by. Today, I want to talk about something that's a little hard to talk about for me, actually. And it really falls into what this page was called. That's one step forward and a landslide back. The journey leaving an abusive relationship is never an easy one. In fact, it's almost impossible sometimes, or at least it felt that way to me. And here it is, just a few days shy of the 27th anniversary of when I walked away from the abuse. And I'm having a bad week. A really bad week. Let me frame this, just so that it's really clear. May 6th is my daughter's birthday. And her biological father has been out of her life most of her life. And it's hard to remember the birth and suddenly not feel upset about what happened there. Okay, put that aside. May 12th, that's the anniversary of when my abuser was sentenced to 20 years of hard labor in, in the Louisiana state prison system. Hard labor just means he has to stay in a state penitentiary. It doesn't really mean he's going to be out on a rock pile, although I have to admit there's a part of me that would be very happy with that. The 14th is my birthday. Yay me. And the 16th is the anniversary of when I walked away from the abuse and broke the cycle. So it's a 10-day roller coaster of emotions, and they just go all over the map. And as I was been preparing for all of this, that's kind of been bubbling up inside of me, and I've been having a really, really hard time trying to get my thoughts to come out in something that was vaguely coherent and less than jumbled. So what's the point of all of this? Well, the point is, because in the midst of everything that's happening, in the midst of everything that feels like maybe life isn't worth living, which I know it is, I see that every day, I've been able to identify a few very key things about my own healing and part of my journey. For instance, and I know we all go through something like this, whether we've been abused or not. It's just human nature, I suppose, right? So part of it for me is if I'm in a room and people are ignoring me for whatever reason, could be very valid reasons. I have nothing to contribute to their conversation. I have nothing in common with what's happening in a conversation. A part of me feels rejected. And I start spiraling into a mild depression. My therapist gave me an amazing tool to use for that. But first we had to do a little bit of an exercise to figure out where those feelings were coming from, because it really wasn't anger at the people that were leaving me out of the conversation. It was my brain not being able to discern present and past. And everything got all bundled together. And my emotional self started reacting to things that go back to when I was 12, maybe sooner. Anyhow, the point is I was able to identify where it came from. And now, when I feel included, when I feel validated, when I feel valued, I'm keeping a journal. It's just a bullet point journal. It's not a big deal. Just my student called to thank me. A colleague said they really appreciated the way I helped them. It doesn't have to be monumental, but having that journal and having something tangible that I can look at when I'm feeling left out or less valued has been huge in getting through these last couple of days. And I wanted to share that tool with you because it's priceless. The healing process when you leave an abusive situation is not linear. I'm finding myself being triggered by things that have nothing to do with my own life in the present, but are reminiscent of the past. And again, our brains can't always discern the difference between then and now or what may be. So I'm taking a little bit more time for self-care. I'm being a little more forthcoming about my need for some space. I'm removing myself from situations where I feel less than comfortable. It's a journey. It's a process. But for every step that you make going forward, when you slide, when you're triggered, when you feel out of control, it's not one step forward, two steps back. It's one step forward and a landslide back, because it really feels like you've gone back to square one, even though you logically know you haven't. All I have to do is look at my diploma or the letters after my name to remember, or look at how much my children have grown and the amazing people that they're becoming. There are so many clues all around, but looking for them and feeling comfortable with them, that can be a little tricky. So if you're in the healing process now, if you're getting ready to leave, it's not going to be all fun and games once you're on your own. Just like everything else in life, there are going to be good days, bad days, and neutral days. And frankly, I'll settle for a lot more neutral days, because you can't live on the emotional high, but you can live in the emotional space of, I'm okay right now. Things aren't so bad. It's time to pick myself up, look at where I slid to, use those tools, and start moving forward again. Thanks for stopping in. Bye-bye.